Hey everyone, it's World Refugee Day, and we are here with Ziva Gorani. Ziva, how do you introduce yourself?
Hi, Stephen. So as you said, my name is Ziva Gorani. Some of my identities, I'm Kurdish from Syria. I'm a queer woman and a feminist and an activist and an advocate. I don't know how many other things I can collect, but I keep collecting over my way. So I've been a permanent resident of Canada since 2016, and I guess that's so far.
All right, and we're here at your home
Yeah,
in downtown Toronto. And before we begin with the serious stuff, let's start with the dumb stuff.
yeah.
Three quick uh, lightning round of dumb questions.
Okay.
What are you really good at?
Oh, cooking, singing, acting. Can I say annoying my boyfriend?
Okay, what are you bad at?
Um, oh yeah. Measuring physical distance. I keep, like fall and triple. Maybe that could be the best. I can win the best clumsiest person. Could be that.
Okay, turn negative into positive. And last question, what do you find weirdest about Canada?
Oh, okay. I would guess people really are talented in using, like, subtle racism or all kind of that isms and sexism and all of that in a very subtle way, in a very way that you can't. I mean, I've even been in the States, but I can have an experience that in the States will be completely different. It's in your face, where here it's so hard to pinpoint.
Yeah, that's our WASPy heritage, isn't it?
Okay.
All right. So what I want to talk to you about is you are a public persona, and I encourage anybody to Google your name if they want to know your story.
Mm-mm.
And then you have a private self, and there's a weird translation that happens when you sort of go from private person to public person.
Yeah.
What is that like? How does that feel?
Well, I mean, it's a journey. There's a lot of exploring of who you are as an activist and how you want to present yourself. And as we were talking before, like you learn from your mistakes, and I definitely learned a lot from my mistakes. So the creation of the two personas is more of a necessity and a need. Um, like you need to present yourself in a way that is very edited, very poised. You know what you're saying. You're not throwing words. Like you have to reference everything. At least that's what I believe. Like that could be the least um, like has the least negative consequences. Um, my private persona is becoming really even more private. Like, people are expecting to see me as this fighter, as this, like, strong persona, like laughing or making jokes, which is, I do all of those, um, but the fragile or vulnerable part, it's something that you don't get to share with a lot of people, and with a lot of, like, especially being in public, speaking or speaking to media or something like that, because it could be taken completely out of context and come and clash back at you.
Okay. Now you were mentioning some of the various hats that you wear as a human being. Kurdish. Um,
Yeah, Kurdish, Syrian, trans, queer, feminist. I don't know. There are many.
okay. And one thing that a lot of people don't know about you is you have you're in school. You're in acting school.
Yeah.
And you also have a robust career in kind of analytics. Like you're actually kind of a math. I don't want to say nerd. You're really good at math.
Yeah, it's something people really don't expect about me. Like I'm very nerdy. Um I'm very much into, like, math and books and reading. And whenever I tell someone that I have a bachelor in artificial intelligence, it's just kind of like, what? I don't know. Like, I guess, like I don't present that kind of persona. Um,
Hey, we're doing an interview, video. You're welcome to be in it.
okay.
And uh, yes, exactly. And so one thing that you've been in the media a lot. You have a film coming out about you.
So, yeah.
Yeah, it's a feature film. And so you have a lot of ways to sort of share your story and have your voice out there. But you, is there something missing every time you sort of have one of these moments to share your story? What's missing?
There are always parts missing. Sometimes, I guess, like with my public work, there's always that level of like being a survivor, or that there's that kind of like, oh, which is not my narrative. And there's always been something that I say up front, but it's still something that I keep falling into. Um, like as how the media comes out and how it presents. Um, and you know what? Like it's what is messing with all of my work, and I think I take that on me that like I don't have a project. Yeah, due to a lot of reasons. Like to a lot of like forced migration or past trauma or identities and all of those things. And as I said, like if you don't have a project, if you don't have your own, if you don't own your narrative, you're owned by other people's narrative. And I guess that's what's missing, my narrative. What I actually want to say, because whatever you're reading, it's it's not my narrative. Whatever is, I mean, every time I used to read an article about me, I was like, that's not me. This is not the person that like, people are gonna see a person who's hurt, who's in pain, or people are gonna see like who's angry, or someone's like, and it's like, it takes that like complexity in a human being, and I guess that only you earn it when you have your own project, when you own your own voice.
And one thing you said you were focusing on these days, more than media recently, is academic work. And why is it important to be part of an academic project?
It's very important. As after what happened in Syria in 2011, it took a couple of years until they realized that archiving everything is one of the most important things, because they become historical documents. And especially for me as someone who's a trans advocate in Syria and the Middle East, like we don't have records, we don't have archives, we don't have documents that mentions us repeatedly, and we need to have a lot of those. We need to work on a lot. So like most of my work now focuses on academic, because you can't erase us. If we exist in documents that can't be erased, then you're forced to see us, to read about us, to know us better, rather than coming up with imaginative stories, or like when you hear people's stories, especially like the documentary, it's a historical document, hopefully for me, that because then you're looking at that journey, you're looking at that person, you're documenting their presence, and I'm encouraging work like that, because talking about like my experience in conferences or in panels and all of those things, their impact disappears usually after 5 minutes of them, what the panel is about, and it ends. You know what I mean? Like, and it doesn't go as far as anyone hopes to go as a social activist.
Perfect. Anything else while we wrap up? Anything else you sort of wish to say?
I guess really treat the activists, the newcomer activists who are here with more dignity, with more, by taking us more seriously. there is this narrative that like we need to be grateful that we're here.
Mm-hmm.
We should, like criticizing or advocating or asking for betterment of marginalized community. It doesn't deny, doesn't that we are actually really grateful that we're here. But however, it's that conversation. It's just so toxic. It's silencing, and it just sounds like you gotta be grateful you're here. As if whatever you're saying, it doesn't make any sense. Or the other conversation that you're here, so you have to care about issues here. It's like, I'm here, but I've had a whole experience in the past and a work that I've done outside of here that I can't erase and I don't want to erase. And that's where is my cause. And if you don't want to listen to it, don't listen to me. You know what I mean? Like, don't read about me. Don't know me. I'm not offended, but don't silence me.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Ziva. And it's World Refugee Day. Hope you enjoyed.